Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 68th Emerging Growth Conference and day one of our two-day super virtual investor conference. I'm Anna Berry. Just a few notes. Today we're running until about 5 p.m. Eastern time. And when we switch to the next company, you might see a black screen for a brief moment. Don't go anywhere. That's just us moving over. If you do experience downtime, refresh your browser. Everything usually works properly again. And our platform does work best on Google Chrome. So if you're watching from an Apple device, you have to hit the play button to start the session. All of our conferences are uploaded to the Emerging Growth Conference YouTube channel. So please subscribe, youtube.com/Emerging Growth Conference. Now, today, during each company's presentation, you can submit questions through our webcast module, and we will attempt to address as many of these as possible at the end of the presentation. Let's jump in, starting off with A2Z Smart Technologies Corp, trades on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol AZ, and is a leading global provider of innovative technology solutions, specializing in the development and deployment of state-of-the-art smart cart platforms. Happy to welcome John Gildea, VP of Corporate Communications. Welcome, John.
Thanks, Anna.
All right, the floor is yours. Call me back when you're ready for questions.
Thank you very much, Anna. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining the call. I'll try to keep this as fast-flowing and entertaining as possible and run through our presentation deck. As Anna pointed out, we're currently a NASDAQ company under the ticker symbol AZ. We're going to just run through some of our forward-looking statements and risk factors just for compliance purposes. They're on the screen. And we'll jump right into the presentation. I suppose what we're going to talk about today is our flagship product, which is our smart cart platform that's been rolled out within the retail, primarily grocery retail, worldwide with the launch of our Generation 3 platform. I suppose the backdrop is that there hasn't been any huge innovation within the grocery retail space for the last 30 years. The last big move was the self-service checkout, which has proven very problematic in the last number of years. And retailers now are aggressively looking for alternatives that are more engaging, have better level of security, and ultimately allow them to generate more revenue and make it for a much, much better customer experience. And ultimately, we feel that the A2Z Gen 3 Smart Cart is that solution. If you look at brick and mortar, retailers face many challenges at the present point in time. There's huge issue with staffing, theft. They're looking to constantly improve their margins and are getting squeezed. And they're ultimately looking to generate other revenue streams from their existing client base. And that's the major challenges for them right now. What we have with Custom-Made Smart Cart is the most secure, engaged, data-driven smart cart platform on the planet right now. And we feel that it deals with many of the pain points that the retailers have right now. So from a retailer perspective, we increase the revenue and profits that the retailer is generating in his current store right now. We do that with by providing in-store promotions on the smart cart, by pushing home brands for the retailer. We also run retail media on our platform. So there's multiple different layers of revenue that the retailer hasn't got access to right now that they can generate from our platform. We also have a much improved customer experience. So when the customer comes into the store, they pick up the cart, they go about their daily shop. It's ultimately the same as a retailer meeting you at the door, shaking your hand and saying, "Welcome into my store," and then throughout the journey, walking with you hand in hand as you go through the store. That's hugely beneficial from the retailer perspective because it allows them to understand what your shopping habits are and offer you opportunity to increase and enhance your shopping experience. So for example, if you decide you're going to buy dinner for the evening, you buy some steak, the retailer then can push a really nice bottle of red wine. That again increases your shopping baskets from their perspective and gives you a much, much better shopping experience. A big thing for multiple retailers around the world right now is reduction of shrink. Almost everywhere you go right now, there's discussions on theft, shrink, huge buzzword within the industry. With our system, what we do is we offer 5 layers of protection, which ultimately eliminates shrink when you're using the smart card. So you have to scan an individual product. Then we have computer vision that will identify that product on a one-to-one basis. We have a security scale then using our AI system that will identify what that product is and correlate the weight. Then for very expensive items, we have RFID facilities in it as well. And then we have an overall AI layer, which will identify if anybody's trying to fraudulently move things around the basket. So it gives the retailer a very, very secure system and solution that reduces their shrink quite considerably. From a customer perspective, this is a frictionless and friendly shopping experience. So you go into the store, you pick up the cart. We have in-store maps. You can download recipes. The smart cart will bring you to the various different locations in stores. It will offer you various different products based on what your shopping habit is. It will remind you if you've forgotten products after a period of time. So the retailer can have a very informed shopping experience. So it can eliminate any issues if you have gluten or any allergies. You can tell the smart cart that I'm dairy, have issues with dairy, then it'll identify every product that you pick up if there's any dairy products in that, thus eliminating any opportunity for you to buy that product, or at least informing you of that. At the end of the journey, then what it can do is you just scan your card, be it e-wallet, card, phone, whatever payment method you wish, and then you leave the store. You take off the hand or the monitor, place it on the charging wall, and then you can walk directly to your car with the remains of the smart card, and then drop it back into its docking station again, and off you go. We're looking at a huge marketplace here. If you look at the global self-service checkout, you're looking at 8 billion by 2027. There's over 60 million shopping carts in the world available for retrofit, and our solution is a retrofit, which is very advantageous from the retailer perspective. And if you just look at the shrinkage alone in the US in 2021, and I would suggest it's going to be much higher 2022 and 2023, you're looking at 94.5 billion that's walking out the door in various different guises coming under the umbrella of shrinkage. And then another huge component is the retail media aspect. You'll see shortly in a video, we have a large 11.5-inch screen. Half of that is devoted to the shopping journey, be it map, recipes, your shopping list, et cetera, as well as your running total. But the global retail market is $140 billion right now. And what is retail media? Retail media has actually been able to offer you products and solutions and brands in real time at the point of sale. And it's seen as a hugely global growing market over the next 5 to 10 years. We are the ultimate location when it comes to in-store purchasing decision. We can give you, for example, if you normally buy Coca-Cola and you walk past the Pepsi aisle because we have GPS on the carts, we can give you a promotion from Pepsi that'll offer you a discount or a 2-for-1 offer, whatever it might be. So ultimately, we can influence your decision, or the retailer can influence your buying decision in real time in store. Moving on, we have a very simple business model. We offer a subscription-based model. The reason we do that is we want to ensure that there's a low capex and a low entry level from the retailer point of view. So we charge the retailer on a monthly basis for the use of the platform as such. What we do then is, as we sell retail media and coupons and other various different apps, because we're an open AI system, we encourage other apps to join us and use our platform to access the customers. And all of those apps that come into us and all of those retail media opportunities, we get a rev share. So not only do we get the subscription model, but we also get a share of the revenue and everything that comes through our platform. Over and above that, the retailer also gets a share. So ultimately, this is revenue that they've never seen before. And it's hugely, hugely attractive from the retailer perspective because it all goes to their bottom line. It's all profit. The cost is already baked in for them. So where we are, we're the state-of-the-art smart card platform right now. It's a clip-on device. It's installed locally. I can retrofit any cart that's out there right now. The retrofit time is less than 10 minutes per cart, so it's very, very quick. Carts can then be taken outside the store. We have a large 13.3-inch screen that can run media, commercials, offer promotions, et cetera, et cetera. We offer an incredibly secure platform. We have 5 layers of product identification and security, as mentioned before: computer vision, artificial intelligence, RFID, scanners, and security scales. You then can pay on payment, on cart, and leave the store. It integrates with any store system, so the POS system, point of sale, loyalty, catalogs, etc. And behind all of this as well, ultimately a huge driver will be the access to big data. So from a retailer perspective, after you've shopped in store a number of times, they will be able to start developing a profile of you and what you do and how you spend your money. And that's hugely beneficial from a retailer perspective, and ultimately will lead for you to be getting offers that are very beneficial for you as well. So for example, if you're looking at it from an environmental perspective, there's a huge amount of waste in store in big retailers. So ultimately, when you come into a store, the retailer can notify you that there's products that are going to go out of date in the coming days. He can give you special offers on that, which is hugely beneficial for you. The whole way throughout the journey, you will see what you're spending. You will see the discounts you're availing of. You will see the coupons you're availing of in real time. So again, it gives you a very visual control of what's actually happening in your shopping journey. And ultimately, everybody loves a bargain. If you can see if you're saving money, that's going to be hugely beneficial for you. We have trusted partners all over the world. We're in locations in the US, Europe, Middle East, and we're going into APAC very shortly, and there will be more and more rollouts in the coming weeks and months. So if you look at some of our partners there, you're looking at Toshiba, Essentia, Lenovo, Flextronics, NCR, SensePants. These are some of the biggest companies in the world within this space, and we're very happy to be partnered with them. This just gives you an idea of our global presence right now. There's some more bits and pieces that have to be added onto this. It's a little bit old. So we're looking at Turkey, we're looking at Israel, you're looking at the US, you're looking at France, a number of retailers in France. Also, we need to add Belgium to this, and we also need some APAC companies onto this as well. So our smart cards, and I suppose we'll try to wrap up with this, and then we'll run the video, Ryan. So if you're ready in about 30 seconds. Our cards are actively rolled out right now. We have 8,000 cards either rolled out or orders at this particular point in time. Some of them are backlogged. We're serving thousands of shoppers every day. Additional stores can be implemented very, very quickly, retrofitted, ready to go within weeks. We have 75% returning customers, which is very high for a new product going into the marketplace. This is a really big one from a retailer perspective. Increased basket size is 75% bigger than a regular cart or a regular self-checkout. Now, that will level out, we feel, over a period of time, but that comes about by the fact that there's reduced shrinkage, there's increased spending on the cart due to promotions, special offers, etc. And what we've noticed in the retailers we have rolled out, they're able to reduce the amount of cashier lines that they have. Now, ultimately, at the start of this process, we thought that may be a negative. But what we're finding was worldwide with major retailers we're in discussions with is that they have huge issue actually finding staff now to fill those voided positions. The average lifespan for a checkout person is around 11 months. So they get trained, they last 11 months and they're gone. And retailers are struggling incredibly at the present point in time and getting staff to fill those various different positions. So from the retailer perspective, the ROI is incredibly strong. If you look at the reduction in shrinkage, the increased basket size, and the additional revenue streams that they never had access to before, it's an incredibly compelling story from their point of view. And then also, if you look at the customer satisfaction level, when customers use the cart, they want to use them again, because ultimately you come into the store, you pick the cart up, you do your shopping in the most timely fashion that you can possibly do it in with the help of the cart, and then you pay and you walk out the door, so there's no standing in long lines or anything like that. We have an incredible management team and management structure behind us, which makes us unique compared to some of the other groups that are out there. We're a retail first company. We have over 200 years of retail experience in the company. As opposed to developing a tech product and trying to force it into retail, we developed this solution in conjunction with retail so that we were able to identify the pain points for retail at this point in time and address them in a very real and simple way. So Ryan, if you don't mind, we maybe just play the video and then we can open it up to some Q&A.
Honey, remember it's your turn to do the shopping. It's your turn to do the shopping.
Meet Customate 3.0, the all-in-one smart shopping cart that takes the shopping experience to a whole new level. To start shopping, customers attach the panel to the cart, log in, and upload the shopping list. Think of Customate as an interactive shopping companion that accompanies the customer throughout his journey at the store, making any shopping visit smooth, affordable, and personal. Customate can weigh products sold by weight. Looking for a product location? No need for assistance. The product search function automatically directs the shopper to the desired location. Missing a scan? No problem. Customate identifies and cross-checks any product added to the cart, minimizing shrinkage and ensuring accurate billing. Customate even suggests the ingredients needed for a delicious Italian dinner. It is so smart, it provides personalized offers and ads at the right time and place, based on shopper's history, store location, and actual shopping basket. Checkout is a hassle? Customate streamlines the checkout experience with on-cart payment, making it swift and effortless without waiting in queues. Saving precious time while reducing unnecessary costs. Built by retail technology experts, Customate delivers a superior shopping experience, streamlines store operations, and merges the digital world with the physical store.
Honey, next time the shopping is on me.
Innovative smart carts for smart retail stores. Customate, digitizing the in-store shopping experience.
Live.
Super. So that ultimately gives you a view of what our solution is and some of the various different uses in real time. So Anna, I'm happy enough to open it up to Q&A now. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to address them as best I can.
Great job, John. Yes, let's jump in. Derek Greenberg asks, what do the unit economics of the business look like?
We're reluctant to give away too much as regards our costs and etc. But what we've done is we've substantially cut our costs as regards manufacturing of the solution itself, which makes our own ROI incredibly fast. So if we look at this from a very basic level, the numbers vary depending on client to client. But if we use a number of $150 per month per cart as a barometer, some will be higher, some will be slightly lower, but we're comfortable with that $150. We get paid that on a monthly basis. Then what we do over and above that is we get paid on the retail media side of things, and any apps that run through our solution as well, we get a revenue stream from them. Ultimately, it's felt that the revenue from the apps and the retail media and the coupons and the loyalty will far exceed what our SaaS $150 number is. But if you do the math on it, if you look at $150 on 10,000 carts, for example, which ultimately we feel is a very short-term goal of ours, that generates about $1.5 million per month in revenue. Our ROI is very, very, very quick. It's a matter of months. So we start generating very positive income in a very, very short time frame. And then over and above that, it's very hard to quantify what the other revenue streams will be. But people far smarter than I feel that number will be bigger than the $150 that we're initially starting with.
And a few questions from Paul Mahoney. Purchase orders for 2,500 carts can in this quarter. So when will we see more purchase orders coming up?
Well, as it stands right now, we have 8,000 carts that have been announced that have to be either pushed out into the ecosystem new or retrofitted from some of our old orders. So that's actively about to start taking place right now. We're in discussions with multiple retailers around the world, so I'd anticipate that we'll see many more orders over the coming weeks and months.
And can you give an update on Carrefour purchasing for their superstores?
Yeah, Carrefour we announced in the middle to end of last year. What has happened in the interim is that Carrefour went through a major restructure themselves. Their hypermarket and supermarket divisions actually merged. I think it was a $32 billion combined merger. So that obviously held us back by a couple of months. And it's anticipated now that we'll move forward with the Carrefour situation in early Q2, which is just around the corner.
And how long does a system integrator take to set up a store with location of goods, location of cart, et cetera?
Ultimately, what we've done, again, we've used our time very wisely in the sense that now most items in most stores are very generic. About 80% of all the items in every store is exactly the same with slightly different branding. So we're able to integrate with any store out there in a matter of weeks, depending on their point of sale system. You have some of the smaller retailers would have old point of sale systems, but most of the large retailers have very sophisticated, up-to-date point of sale systems, either from NCR on Toshiba, and we've already actively integrated with all their systems. So our integration process is very, very simple. And then generally it's a matter of weeks, because then we only have to tweak maybe that 10% that's not generic across all stores. And when we have one store in a retail company done, then we cover all stores at exactly the same time. So it's self-learning. So it's very, very quick after that. As regards retrofitting the carts themselves, the fastest that we've done it in-house is 4 minutes. So we can have a smart cart in-house retrofitted within 4 minutes. What we're saying, to be conservative, is anybody that's in this space can do it in less than 10 minutes. So, that's 5 to 6 an hour for one person. So we can fit out a store very, very quickly.
And if a customer ordered 10,000 3.0 carts for immediate delivery, about how long would it take for them to receive them?
Ultimately, we're at a stage right now where we're able to mass produce. So if a retailer came in and decided, okay, we want 10,000 carts right away, then we're able to facilitate that. What I would suggest is that there's small bits of any delay in a rollout isn't from A2Z's point of view. It'll be from the retailer's point of view as regards logistically, how are they going to implement them in the store. They're not going to roll out 10,000 at one time. They might roll out 500, then 1,000, and then grow from there. But as it stands, we're able to roll out as many carts as we need. And that's going to continue going forward. The good thing about that is the more carts and more orders we have, the lower our cost is from a manufacturing perspective. And therefore, the quicker we recoup and start making profits in a much more timely manner. So it's very beneficial for us to have more orders sooner rather than later.
Maxine Parker loves this idea and asks, how is it better than your competition? And who is the competition?
Well, if you look at the competition, I suppose the big elephant in the room is Amazon. And normally people, when they hear Amazon, freak out because how do you compete against Amazon? There's a number of other companies out there that are doing something similar to us, but different from us. They're very much reliant on pure AI and visual recognition. Unfortunately, or fortunately from our perspective, that type of technology isn't at the level it needs to be for huge retailers right now. These retailers are dealing with hundreds of thousands of SKUs. They change them on a daily basis. The packaging changes, et cetera, et cetera. So visual recognition is very, very costly and very hard to implement. And there's a very high degree of error. And if you look at, they're somewhere between 9 and 12% wrong on all occasions. Now, a retailer is running at between 2 and 3% margins. If you're wrong 9% to 12% and you're only running 3% margin, you'll go out of business very quickly. What we've done is we've combined existing technology in a very unique way, scanners, scales, RFID, et cetera, that are foolproof. And then we supplemented them with AI, and we're not focused completely on AI, which gives us a huge competitive advantage. The other thing is it's also much easier to replace because you can swap in and out scanners, scales, et cetera, very easily. And the other big advantage is retailers are very comfortable with this technology. They're very slow movers. They're already very comfortable with scanners, scales, RFID. They understand that. So we're not trying to force something on that's going to win a tech award, but it's very, very functional. I suppose that, as I said before, the big competitor is Amazon. The good thing about Amazon is they're a fantastic company. They validate the space. This is where the marketplace is going. We believe within the next 5 to 10 years, all major retailers will have smart carts of some description in their store. But the other good thing is that even though Amazon have validated the space, most retailers will not do business with Amazon. They don't want Amazon to have access to their data, to their customers. They just don't trust them. So it's much easier to do business with us because we're inoffensive, we're not a threat. We share everything with them as opposed to trying to bring an Amazon into their store, which just won't happen.
Fantastic. Follow-up question from Jack Yates. What is the entry cost for the retailer and what do the recurring costs look like?
So from a retailer perspective, as I mentioned earlier, we look for an initial upfront payment from the retailer of a couple of $100 per system. And then we charge them on an average $150 per month thereafter. What we feel is that, what we've seen from our rollouts is that in a very short period of time, the retailer understands and changes their mindset that this is not a cost. This is actually a revenue generator for them. So it becomes very, very valuable for them in a very short period of time. And as soon as that catches on and we can show this to more and more clients, we feel adoption will be very, very quick.
And Edna Hale asks, is the real-time info displayed through an interface on the cart or through an app?
Everything's done on the cart. I don't know if you've seen the video earlier on. We have a 13.5-inch screen. So everything is on the screen. Your shopping list is on your screen. Your ingredients list is on your screen. Your total and cost and savings and coupons and loyalties is on your screen. The other part of the screen can be used to promote either other products that are not in store. And that's one thing that maybe I forgot to mention earlier on. It really brings this offline to in-store together for the first time. And for the first time ever, the retailer is with you every step of the way. And that's incredibly unique from a retailer perspective and very valuable from their point of view. So ultimately, it can be configured whatever way the retailer wants. And that'll ultimately come down to customer feedback, but it's incredibly adaptable.
Douglas Veen asks, do you have any patents? And if so, how many?
We have a number of patents and we're constantly updating our patents on various different parts of the cart. We were granted a patent on the overall payment system on a moving smart cart a number of months ago. So I think it's somewhere in the region of 7 to 10 patents at various different levels and functionality on the cart as regards to scale, payment system, smart cart in general. But ultimately, we don't see this as a patent play. We see this very much as a retail-friendly play and getting a land grab. We're considerably ahead of our competition at this point in time. And that gives us a huge advantage. And we're in major discussions with lots of retailers worldwide. And ultimately, when they use the solution and you're in there, it's incredibly sticky because the customer likes it, the retailer's making money on it, has information they never had before. And the chance of them changing to another smart card provider at that time is very, very slim.
Merle wants to know, how is your growth planned geographically?
Very good question. What we've done is we see ourselves as a platform software provider, not so much as a hardware company or a service company. So what we've done is we've partnered with best-in-class point-of-sale companies all around the world. So like the likes of NCR, Toshiba, we have integrators in various different locations around the world. They act as our sales division. They also act as our training but more importantly, they act as our service and maintenance division because they already have a relationship with the client that we're actively dealing with them. So all our support is carried out by our partners worldwide. They already have all the experience, and ultimately what that does, it gives us a huge advantage as regards moving into the marketplace very, very quickly. We have reduced our costs considerably as we're trying to put service and support personnel into all these locations worldwide. Would take tens of years and hundreds of millions of dollars. What we've done is we've incentivized our partners. They make a lot of money as we make money. There's no cost up front to us. So it's a win-win-win for all parties across the board.
Gary Zwetchkenbaum asks if you can give revenue projections for 2024 and 2025, along with number of carts that will be delivered this year.
That's already out in the ecosystem. We don't like to give revenue numbers for all sorts of compliance reasons, but those numbers have been officially put out there. The numbers for 2024 are somewhere in the region of 11,500 carts this year. We started that process already, and there's other documentation out there that we'll look at next year. But again, obviously that number looks to increase. Obviously, what we would like to do is increase those numbers dramatically. But what we would like to do is under promise and over deliver as a company, as opposed to making wild and speculative assertions right now. What I would say is that if any of the retailers we're dealing with right now, and if you look at Carrefour, for example, we also announced a major retailer in Australia. Those retailers have thousands of stores and they have hundreds of thousands of carts. If any one of those retailers would decide that they're going to mass adopt, then all those numbers we're discussing go out the window. So that's obviously the holy grail. It'd be a huge problem if it happened, but it'd be a first world problem when and if it does happen.
Keith Hurd wants you to explain the process of retrofitting the carts.
They're very, very simple. So what everything's attachable and click on and screwed. So the scale goes onto the bottom of the carts, and then there's a thin wire that runs up the frame of the cart into our control system at the top. We retrofit a cradle onto the cart, and then the brains of the smart cart just clip on, clip off. So we've made everything that's interchangeable. It's very inoffensive, and as I said earlier on, worst case scenario, we're looking at 10 minutes a cart, and we've done it in 4 minutes in-house. So the retrofit itself is incredibly simple. And what that does is, it allows us to fit out a lot of carts very quickly. But also, if there's any issue with a cart, it doesn't mean the cart is decommissioned. We just swap out a unit and we're ready to go. So it's very good from a maintenance and service perspective, as well as a manufacturing perspective.
A few questions from Douglas again. Do you have to pay to integrate with the current system, example, NCR?
No. The clients that we're working with, so let's say it's a Carrefour or a Yokononof in Israel, are already paying NCR for the use of their point of sale system. So we don't have to pay again for the point of sale system. It's actually very beneficial for the point of sale supplier, because instead of having, as you can imagine, say a retailer with 10 checkouts and they pay for each of those checkouts, ultimately the retailer will pay for more checkouts because every cart's a checkout system. So it's actually extra revenue for the POS company as well, which they're delighted about, because the more revenue they can make, the more money they make, and there's no extra cost to them in this.
Combining a few questions from Eric, Ryan, and Doug, talking about the units, they break easily. Do the tablets break easily? If they're in different stores, are the customers responsible? What happens if it drops? Talk a little bit about that, because unfortunately people don't tread lightly on these carts or tablets these days.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's a number of different, we have a very precise maintenance and service and replacement contract in place with all our clients. Normal wear and tear, we cover. It's a replacement. We do that. Every retailer we give carts to, we'll give them a redundancy built in where there'll be extra units there that they can swap in and out at their discretion. What makes this unique is that if somebody decides that they're going to be abusive towards the cart, we know exactly who they are. So, Anna, if you come into our store, you have to put in your ID, so it's either a loyalty or your Visa card or your phone number, whatever it might be. And then you decide halfway through the journey you're going to turn into a complete jerk and you're going to smash up the cart. We know who you are. We have all that information. It's in store. So it's really a big brother keeping manners on you to make sure you're not messing around with them. The backdrop to this company, just as regards the durability, the backdrop to this company is this is an Israeli company that provided equipment to the Israeli Defense Forces and the fire department. They build very robust equipment that operates in extreme terrain over the last 30 years. They know how to build things. They know how to build things very robustly. So we have no issues with that right now. There will be issues as you roll out carts. People will drop them or break them. That's a cost of business. But ultimately, given the big brother attitude to this and how robust the units are, we don't feel that that's going to be a major issue for us. And we haven't seen that to date so far.
Last question, John, and you can close with this question. Gary Zwetschgenbaum asks if you can discuss U.S. opportunities for this.
We ultimately, I can't discuss anything specifically because we can only discuss things that are public knowledge at this point in time. We've put a 3-person sales team into the US over just at the middle to end of last year. There's been a huge amount of interest. They're developing opportunities as we speak. And as they become more relevant, we'll introduce them to the marketplace via public PRs, etc. But there's a lot of discussion going on in the US and elsewhere. As you can imagine, from a retailer perspective, there's no retailer right now can look at the solution and go, they don't want it. Maybe they're not ready to implement it right now. Maybe they haven't allocated a budget right now. And ultimately, when we're looking at clients and as part of our negotiations right now, we're very much in our funnel streaming down who's actively ready to roll out smart cards, who understands them, who has a budget for it. And all that comes to our decision making as regards who we're doing business with. But you're going to see a lot of information over the coming weeks and months from various different locations around the world, including the US.
All right, exciting times. Thank you so much for joining us on our conference. We would love to follow along with some updates in the future with you, John.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thanks for everybody at Emerging Growth, and thanks for everybody for listening. I hope you found it interesting, and I look forward to keeping you updated as we develop this.
We sure did. Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with Shuttle Pharmaceuticals. We'll be back.